morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution episode. What is this? Little zit. Episode number 1358. Happy Thursday. It's a snow day here in Wisconsin. I'm late. I'm like over an hour late. Once again, I'm going to blame Ernie. Ernie, we're going to blame you. Hey, you got a fresh new bone. Chew on that, buddy. Chew on your bone. I'm going to blame my tardiness on a couple things, neither of which are the snow that's falling from the sky, which is going to make for a beautiful white Christmas this year. No, I made the decision last night as I was going to pick up Ernie from doggy daycare in the evening. Like, you know what sounds really good when I get home? Coffee. Coffee sounds really good. Mushroom coffee. So there's not like the caffeine. I'm like, it won't keep me up because there's less caffeine. It actually didn't keep me up, but it did. I was up later than normal. I was up past 10 o'clock, which, as you know, is late for me. So I had some mushroom coffee last night. Hey, chew on your bone. Chew on your bone. And then Ernie woke up at 4:30 this morning again. It's like 2 out of the last 3 days. And that completely kills my, because usually my alarm is set for 5:30. So when at 4:30, 4:45 hits, and I'm like dead tired, I want that extra hour of sleep. So normally I would push it back to 6:30. Well, instead of pushing it back to 6:30, I'm like, I'll just turn it off and I'll wake up. Because I don't want to. Here's my thought process at 4:30 in the morning when I'm half asleep. If I just turn my alarm off, I might actually wake up at 5:30 or 5:15. Like I might just go back to bed for like 20 minutes and wake up. Now, you're probably saying right now, but if you do that, you can just turn your alarm off. Yes, I understand that. But that's not what's going through my head at 4:30 when I'm like, I'll just turn my alarm off and I'll wake up. It's 50-50. I'll either wake up early or I'll wake up late. And this morning I woke up late. It's Russian. It's called alarm clock Russian roulette. Today I lost. So I took Ernie out at 4:30. He got his poop and pee in. And I turned my alarm off, went back to bed, woke up, and it's like 7:45. And I'm like, oh, shit. So took Ernie out. He only peed, so I'm concerned that he's going to drop a deuce on my office floor this morning. So Ernie it is a snow day, just not for me. It's a snow day for Ernie. I am not going to take him to doggy daycare. We're supposed to get up to 6 inches of snow today, so I don't really feel like driving out. I need but here's the thing, and now I understand why people rush to the grocery store like I should have done yesterday, because I'm like out. I went grocery shopping the day my wife left. Now I have to go like restock, because if my wife comes home, she comes home tomorrow. If she comes home to like no Diet Coke, which is the worst grievance that could ever be. Like, I've got to make sure the house is cleaned, like from just my dirtiness. And there's got to be Diet Coke in the fridge. Everything else is like, okay. But I need to stock like at least some, semblance of food in the house. So I went to the grocery store like the day she left, because I dropped her and her mom are together in Florida. So I dropped them off at the airport. And then I'm like, well, since I'm out and about anyway, because we dropped Ernie off at doggy daycare on the way to the airport, it's like, okay, I'm out and about anyway, need to get grocery shopping done. So I hit up I think it was the same day. Maybe I'm misremembering. It's been a whole week. But those groceries are done. Done finny. So I need more groceries. And here I am, going to be snowbound today with like rice and oatmeal. I don't know if Zach and Porter are in here, but I did. And yes, in fact, yesterday I had oatmeal for breakfast. After I dropped Ernie off at doggy daycare, I'm like, well, I'm just going to eat breakfast like Zach tells me to do. And I only do once a week. So I made some oatmeal and it, ooh. No wonder they load things up with sugar. Oatmeal without anything. Like, I even put some honey in it. I put some honey in it. I did a dash of, like, the instructions say like salt, and I'm like, that sounds weird, but okay. So I put like a dash of salt. It wasn't enough. So it had no taste. I even put some honey in, the last of the local honey that I had. Put some honey in, didn't, and then I'm like, okay, I'll put some almond milk in it. And the almond milk has a little bit of sugar, so I'm like, that'll give it some sort of semblance of taste. No, still nothing. So I don't know. So I got a question. Let's get out of there. I got a question. When you make oatmeal, how do you make it flavorful? Like, what do you put in to like make it taste okay? Oh, thank you, buddy. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. He's such a good boy, aren't you? Yes, such a good boy. So yeah, so I had oatmeal for breakfast yesterday. Where's your bone? Where's your bone? So that was my day. Shipping and listing and shipping. Oh, you know what? Brown sugar, says Jordan. I want to avoid bananas and walnuts. I want to avoid just like sugar. If I put sugar in, I want it to be like banana, like the sugar, like the natural sugar that's in a fruit, like banana. I like banana and walnuts. That's good. I don't have any bananas. I don't think I have any walnuts either. Cinnamon. Okay, let's get out of the trash can. All right. Orlando puts honey and raisins. I don't want to put raisins in my oatmeal. I don't like raisins. I'll eat raisins, but I don't like them. It's not like I wouldn't choose to put raisins in anything. I avoid oatmeal raisin cookies. I despise oatmeal raisin cookies. Oatmeal cookies are so delicious, and then they're ruined by the raisins. Mr. Archer says bananas, walnuts, and cinnamon. Okay, that sounds. I like Mr. Archer's oatmeal recipe. Ooh, strawberries and pecans. Mr. Archer, Mr. Chef down here. I like it. Billy Joe likes green grapes. I don't mind green. You know, grapes are like supposed to be like terrible. They're like sugar bombs, apparently. They're like the worst of the fruits, apparently. And I never knew that. Of course, that's just coming from like one person or maybe multiple people. It's like some people say eggs are terrible for you. And then the next, oh, eggs are great. Coffee is terrible. Oh, coffee will prevent heart disease. Max says oatmeal goes in the garbage. So Unicorn Cupcake says, do you use water or milk? So I made the mistake. I made it with water, which, I mean, I know it tastes a lot better with milk. Hey, that's just paper. Don't eat paper. He loves paper for some reason. Let's just stop. You have a freaking fresh bone, buddy. So, that's what I was going to say. You know, I get caught up in the reels, like the old death scrolling. And I came across this clip from like the early 80s, which I like. It's kind of, I like my Facebook reels, Instagram reels, like I like my bargain boxes with a dash of 80s. So I come across this 80s and I'm going to watch it no matter what it is, because it's, you know, pre-internet. And it's this guy like driving it. They're filming this dude driving down like the 4 lanes of a city, and he's pointing out like burger joints. He's like, and there's a McDonald's and there's a Burger King and a burger chef right across the street. And then he stops at Rack's Roast Beef and gets a roast beef sandwich. And apparently it was from a, not apparently, because I ended up watching some of it. It's from a documentary from 1982. It's called Family Business. It's about this guy named Howie Snyder, and he is like Muncie, Indiana, by the way. Shout out Muncie, Indiana. So Howie Snyder was very eclectic man. And he was he was like a retired from the Air Force and a bunch of like medals serving. And so he retired in like his 40s and opened up a Shakey's Pizza. And they were really struggling. So this documentary is about the struggles of running basically a mom and pop franchise. And so like the opening, I think the opening scene is him talking to like Shakey's corporate about how he's struggling. He needs some help from Shakey's. And then he's talking to like the bank because he needs money to keep afloat just to stay open. And then the driving part is not too far in, like maybe 15 minutes in, where they're driving down the 4 lanes of Muncie, pointing out McDonald's and Burger Chef and Burger King. So if you're into that sort of thing, not many people are. I'm a freaky deek about weird stuff like that. So then I went down the rabbit hole last night, and I was checking into the film company that made the documentary, because it was like a series that they made. And I tried finding the other, because there's one about it's called The Big Game. It's about like a rivalry, high school basketball rivalry, which I think would be really cool. But at least in my quick search of YouTube, I couldn't find it. Family Business, it's on YouTube. You can find it. I've only watched like the first 20 minutes, maybe an hour and a half long. But if you're into just random shit to watch, and it's good background because it's basically just the story. But you can, in what I do on when I have videos like this playing in the background as I'm shipping. Oh, sorry, buddy. I'll be listening, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh, I want to see this part, like, because it's intriguing to me, the historical aspect. So I think that might be my next like rabbit hole. Because it gets boring when you're sitting down, and whether you're listing or shipping or listing, and you've got background noise, podcast, whatever. Like I get bored, like with the same content. Yeah, I know it's different. True crime podcast, they're talking about different true crime, but it's like, okay, I need something a little lighter, and then I'll listen to a wrestling podcast, and it's like, okay, I'm tired of listening to wrestling, and then I'll listen to card content. It's like, okay, I'm tired of listening to card content. And then it's like, now what? I don't have anything else to listen to. So I know there's a website. It's like Historical Chicago. It's like archives of video, which is really cool. It's got like interviews with like Ron Santo from like the early 70s. And it's very quick clips and stuff of like news and I can't remember. Every once in a while, I'll search for like Cubs video content, and that website always pops up. So yeah, so that's what I did yesterday. eBay sales have been pretty good lately. I've been adding in the reason why. First 2 weeks of December were absolutely awful, but part of the reason was what I was listing was a lot of just $1.75 stuff that's not going to move as fast. Over the last week, I've added a little better inventory. I've been separating refractors out, and I had sold a couple like 1,000 count lots of refractors for $300. I think both of them sold for $300. And I decided, you know what? I don't want to do 1,000. Maybe if I do 100 for $50, and it ended up moving. I don't even think it took a week, maybe a week. But I did 100 count refractors for $50, and somebody bought it on a 10% offer, so sold for $45. So that's better and easier than 1,000. The time it takes to sort out 1,000, take all the photos, and then it costs more to ship and all that. So was happy with that. So yeah, eBay sales have been pretty good. My impressions are like way down. which sales are up, impressions are down. I can't explain it. So this month, I'm really checking my numbers like often now as we push. It's the end of the year push. So this month compared to last month, which is this is insane to me. So first 18 days of December, the first 2 weeks were absolutely awful. I'm up 31%. Net sales up 31% over the same period last month. Quantity is up 7%. And yeah, so I'm very happy compared to last year. It's just going to be insane because it's way better than last year already. Compared to last year, I'm up 78%. Volume is up 48%. So year to date compared to last year, net sales this year compared to last year, I'm up 46%. Quantity is up 9%. So of course, auctions are a big part of that here over the last stretch of the year. So it's been a good finish. I haven't tracked because I've got a spreadsheet that tracks my number so I can see like what I've done each month. But December was shaking out to be like was shaking out to be like 7th, I think. And I think with this push, now it's going to be the next couple of weeks might be a little slower because I'm not going to be running as many auctions, so those guaranteed sales won't be coming in like they have here recently. Hey, let's just chew your bone. Chew your bone. You got 2 of them. Take one. So yeah, so we'll see. But like right now, if the month ended today, I think it'd be 3rd best. Just trying to think of the numbers, 3rd best, 4th best. But 2022 and 2023, December was 4th of the entire year. So probably going to be on par with that this year. So, which if you would have told me that 2 weeks ago, I'd been like, you're crazy. Like, here's where I'm pacing. Like, I'm pacing to have one of my worst months of the year. But we turned it around. Unicorn Cupcakes here. What's happening? Good morning. Andy Max in the house. Good morning. Raphael is here. Good morning. Jordan, 3rd. Scott is here. What's happening? Jody's in the house. Good morning. Raphael says, I saw you on a few Collects Marketplace ads. Are you using that platform? And if so, how is it going for you? Yes, I am on Collects. I have neglected it. I've not listed it in a month. Started out really good. And then it was kind of a trickle. And you know why it was a trickle? Same reason why eBay can be a trickle, because I wasn't adding anything and I haven't added anything. So it's kind of slowed down. Let's see. Where am I at? So on Collects. So you can find me 1 billion Cubs on Collects. Where's my stats? I've sold 447 cards. So there you go. Oh, and I've sold some cards. Oh, all right. Ooh, that was 5 days ago. All right. So like I said, I've neglected Collects, and that was my fear. When I first started a new platform, it's like, so, and this is, I'm glad Raphael brought this up because this is something that's been on my mind here over the last few days, maybe last couple of weeks, where I like Collects for what it can do. And I like Collects as a secondary platform. And like I said, from the very beginning, Collects is going to be a secondary platform where I'm not going to put a lot of focus on, because it's going to be like it's going to be like commons and stuff like that. So it's going to be lower sales. It's obviously not going to take, it's not going to be a mainstream of income. It's going to be like play money, basically. I've still got all my, from the last 2 months, it's all sitting in Collects still. In terms of having those secondary platforms, it's like, I need to take a step back and, where if I have multiple streams and multiple platforms, it's good, but I need to get focused. And I'm not really good at focus. Surprised? Are you surprised? And that's what my fear has always been with second, third, fourth platforms. And I'm talking about, well, I'm going to try out Whatnot. And I just don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to stick to eBay. If I do Whatnot, I think it'll be like buy it now. Because you can do buy it now on Whatnot. So I really need to, and I haven't decided what 2025 is going to look like in terms of I have the audience to build a decent Whatnot following, but it still can't compare to what eBay can bring in terms of auctions and all that. So I've run the numbers. I'm keeping good track of the numbers on eBay and what I can do in terms of auctions, what I'm paying out on insertion fees. So I'm going to stick with eBay. I'm going to keep selling on collects. It's not like I'm abandoning it, but I have been neglecting it. And so I'm glad Raphael mentions that because I've like even stopped checking, which is not good. You stop checking, it's like, oh, you made a sale last week. Oh shit, where's my cards? So that's not good, and that's completely on me. And that was my fear. That's always my fear because I have tunnel vision, and like, I can do eBay and I'm gonna kill it. But if there's other things, like I can't juggle. Like I'm not a very good juggler. I can be really good at this one thing, but the secondary stuff I tend to neglect. And that's just, I don't know if that's something I'll ever be able to overcome. Like that's in here. And so we'll see. But yes, I am on Collects, COLLX. Download the app. Follow me, 1 million Cubs. And I do need to. This was a nice little slap in the face. Okay, check your Collects. You might have sold some cards in the last few days. So yeah. So, and I haven't been making many sales lately because I haven't added anything in like a month. And you go a month on eBay without adding anything. Guess what? Your sales you're not, like, why am I not selling anything? Oh, I haven't added anything in a month. So there you go. There was something else I wanted to touch on in that little rambling that I had. And now I forget. See? My brain. Cooter, what's happening? Good morning. Peter's in the house. Good morning. Philly Joe is here. Good morning. Jordan, good morning. And he's teasing us. He says it's going to be 85 in SoCal. It's snowing. Decent. It's 23 degrees. That's comfortable. What's up, buddy? What's up? Hi. What's going on? Oops. Shit. Knocked the microphone. Unicorn Cupcake says we got 30 degrees and 3 to 7 inches of snow coming in Wisco. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Mr. Archer, good morning. Orlando is here. Ernie's like sniffing. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? What's on the TV? What's on the TV? Hey. Where are we at? Orlando says weather is beautiful in South Florida, 72 and sunny. Yeah, and my wife's going to be leaving that tomorrow for 6 inches of snow. Troy's here. What's going on? Good morning. Jordan says he puts brown sugar in his oatmeal. Mr. Archer goes with the bananas and walnuts. I like that. Orlando goes with honey and raisins. Mr. Archer adds cinnamon. Unicorn Cupcake wants to know, do you use water or milk? We touched on the oatmeal talk. Yesterday I went with water, but I do understand that it's better with milk. Mark is here. What's happening? Good morning. Mr. Archer says strawberries and pecans. Yeah, and that sounds intriguing to me. Philly Joe likes green grapes. Max throws oatmeal in the garbage. Unicorn Cupcake says green grapes are okay, but never crisp enough for me. Jordan, shocking face. Max says, oatmeal is probably the worst food I've had in my entire life. The consistency is awful and the smell, don't get me started. Like if it's I love the smell of oatmeal if it's like brown sugar and maple brown sugar, like the packets you buy at the store, like those smell really good. The consistency, yeah, it's kind of like puke. It's not a very good consistency. Mark says, I've had a few Shakey's complete sets. They had a 1976 with Josh Gibson. There is one auctioning off soon. Fascinating set. Interesting. I was not aware of that. Oh, I was aware of that because I think there's a Ron Santo card. I think there's a Ron Santo Shakey's card. Unicorn Cupcake says, you must not have had Aztec pie. I've never heard of Aztec pie. Orlando says, I'm out for a walk listening to this show. Enjoy listening to YouTube on walks. Enjoy that walk. Max says, Unicorn, does it have oatmeal or beans? The answer is definitely not. Conversely, I am keeping a ham frozen on my porch since I have no room in the freezer. See, that's the plus to living in the Midwest in the winter, especially if you're like in your early 20s and you're at a party and it's like, I don't want to, like, oh, there's no room in the fridge for my beer. You just stick it on the porch and it's cold. If I go get groceries and it's like, I don't want to go get that case of water that's in the back of my car, I'll just leave it and it's already in the refrigerator because it's cold. So that is a perk to living in the Midwest in the winter. That dude from Dirt, you don't have to rush home. It's 85 degrees in SoCal. You don't have to rush home with your frozen goods. You can leave. You can go out all day. You can do errands all day and not worry about your ice cream melting because it's already cold. But in SoCal, you've got to rush home and get that ice cream in the freezer. What's up, that dude from Duryea? I dive into many rabbit holes on YouTube. Abandoned malls and amusement parks are creepy. I love the abandoned malls. Yes, I love the abandoned malls. I love abandoned, like when it's like a time capsule, like they go into. I saw one where it was like a house, like straight out of like 1996. Like nothing had been changed. Kevin is here. What's happening? He's been listening to Audible for the last few months. My wife suggested it. I've been listening to the Harry Potter series. I'm on the next to last book now. The books are truly better than the movies. I can't do audiobooks. My wife is huge into audiobooks, Audible. And I tried with, we talked about Outliers yesterday. We talk a lot about Outliers. Malcolm Gladwell. I downloaded Audible. And then I think with a new account, you get a free book. And so I downloaded one of his newer books. Something about conversations. Malcolm Gladwell. And it was like, oh my God. Terrible. I'm not an Audible audiobook guy. I like to read, but I've got to hold the book. Like I've got to hold the book. Just a weird quirk I have. Jordan says Max Quaker oatmeal grits. Kevin is definitely not a book guy. Cooter says, had Texas barbecue for lunch yesterday to cleanse my mind of the thought of boiled ribs. Hey, I didn't boil my ribs this week. We just baked them. What's up, buddy? Unicorn Cupcake says it does have beans. Max says, Jordan, I had it once as a kid. I will never eat it again. I won't even let people eat it around me. The smell is enough to gag me. I looked it up. It's not oatmeal, trying to figure out how it relates. But no, I would never willingly choose to eat Aztec pie either. So many better things to eat than baby food. JG says, just curious, what's a solid sales conversion rate on eBay? So sales conversion, good question. So sales conversion rate, typically anything above 7 is pretty good. When mine gets below 7, then I'm concerned. Mine right now is 9.2%, which I think is pretty good. 9.2% is pretty good. Anything in double digits is really good. And basically what you need to know on conversion rate, and when you are looking in your summary on eBay, there's a little explainer. So sales conversion rate is the number of sales transactions divided by the number of listing page views. So that's the formula for your sales conversion rate. Sales conversion rate is not the same as sell-through rate. Now, sell-through rate is not calculated by eBay. That's something you have to calculate on your own. And you can do it. There's multiple ways to calculate it. You can come up with, you can massage that number any way you want. You could go to your thing and see, do your last 90 days. And I don't think it's up here, but like on the app, like last 90 days, you had 1,000 transactions or 1,000 sales, and you've got 60,000. You can do 1,000 divided by 60. That'll be your 3-month conversion rate or sell-through rate, excuse me. You can drill it down, like divide that by 3 and get your monthly. You can divide it by 90 and get your daily sell-through rate. So that there's multiple ways to do your sell-through rate. So, but sales conversion rate different. So a good sell-through rate, a really good sell-through rate is 1%. Basically on like sports cards. And again, it depends on the volume in your store. Like if you've got 10,000 listings, you're probably not going to have a 1%. Like I highly doubt you'll have a 1% sell-through rate. And that's a daily sell-through rate. You're probably going to be at 1/4%, 1/3%. If you have 1,000 or less items in your eBay store, then your sell-through rate should be closer to 0.75% to 1%, somewhere in there. Why are you biting my arm? Sales conversion rate, it kind of depends. 7 to 10%, I think is that's kind of where actually, to be honest, 8 to 10% is kind of where I strive to be. But again, it's like, and basically it's like, well, what if you have a poor sales conversion rate? That means your prices are probably high because people are actually viewing your item. It's not based on impressions, it's based on views. So people are actually clicking into your item. So when they click into your item, they're interested, like they're motivated. But the one thing that's probably holding them back from clicking buy now is your price. So it's kind of a good way to test your your pricing. And sometimes it just means, well, some people, I click on items all the time by accident, or like, oh, I just want to click on this and get a little more. But now like you can see pretty much everything. Like when I'm shopping, and I guess every shopper is different, and I shouldn't look through the lens of my own viewpoint. Like if I want and usually and I look at eBay items all the time, like I don't view them. I just, I'm searching for them. So like last night, so I bought a paper spot in a case of Bowman Draft last week, and it came already. So I was listing like Travis Bazzana and Jack Taglianone and Cam Smith, former Cub Cam Smith. So like I just did a search for those just to see comps, but I wasn't clicking. I wasn't actually viewing the items. I was just doing, looking at comps. So I would say 8 to 10% is good. I'd say 5 to 8% is okay. Probably average. Anything below 5% is not good. You really want to get that up. GNC baseball cards. What's happening? Good morning. Unicorn Cupcake says, you had said oatmeal was the worst food. For me, it's Aztec pie. That's the origin of the question I posed. I'm not fanboying for oatmeal by any means. Max says, okay. Very similar consistency, it looks like. Jordan says, I've sold 2 on collects. I think someone wanted to use their $5 bonus. There you go. I'll be your whatnot guide. All right. Cooter says it's better to whole ass one platform than to half ass 2 platforms. And that's kind of, I've pretty much, and I think when I first started, I was half assing, I think initially I was half assing both platforms. I mean, just for a brief, like less than a week, like for a few days. And I think that's when I realized and when I'm listing, when I'm spending time listing quarter cards on collects, and this isn't my bread and butter, and I'm neglecting eBay, I can use that time to be listing $5 cards. And so I'm neglecting eBay, that's my bread and butter. That's where the bills get paid. So you're right. And Collect is going to be in anything else that I sell on. If I decide to do Whatnot or another platform, it's certainly, going to be kind of like Facebook. Yeah, I'm going to throw, something on Facebook or card shows. So, and I, when I get ready and prepare for card shows, guess what? I'm half-assing my eBay store because I'm sorting cards, and I could be using that time to either sort cards for eBay or be listing on eBay. Max says, babysitters got the day off today up here. What are parents going to do? I don't know. Troy says, I've been thinking about adding a platform for 2026. Want to get more listings. So he's thinking way out. Want to get more listings on eBay and improve being consistent on posting on X, Instagram daily before ad platform thinking Whatnot. I think if I could stretch myself thinner, Whatnot would be my next. That would be my next platform. I think Collects is a great platform. I like Collects as a Sport Lots type. I really love the Sport Lots model. It's just, for me as a seller, it's too time consuming for the return. Like, yeah, you can make $1,000 a month, but spending a lot of time on it. And like, I don't want to just make $1,000 spending all that time and organized. And I just don't want to do that. And Collects allows me to put Sport Lots type inventory up because there's no, I don't have to pay for listings. If you want to list 1 million items on Collects, you can do it and not get charged. But again, there's a lot of time that's involved. There's less time involved than Sport Lots because Sport Lots, you have to it's time consuming to get the, and I guess pictures it's kind of different where you've got to be organized because you've got to know okay, what I'm going to list. And if you have a pile of random cards, it's going to take you forever to list those random cards on Sport Lots. And then how do you find, then you've got to organize them within Sport Lots, and I'm sure you can. But usually you do it by set. So you either have to have already sorted sets or you have to sort them yourself. Time. I don't want to deal with sorting when it comes to that. So that's why I like Collects, where I can just take a random pile of cards, boom, spit it to Collects. I've got my SKU, boom. And it's just like it's the same inventory management as my eBay store, just in different boxes. So I would say, yeah, if I went to another platform, if I had the means and the time to stretch myself, eBay would be my bread and butter. Collects would be like where I put my commons, my quarter stuff, 99-cent cards, bulk of those. And then Whatnot would be kind of like, all right, I just bought this just to move inventory. I kind of like what I'm doing with my auctions, but putting those on Whatnot. But it's that balancing point where it's like, well, if I'm getting 50 to 60% on most auctions than what I would get at Buy It Now, but I'm getting that 50 to 60% faster. They're not sitting in my eBay store. At auction, I might only get 30% on Whatnot if I run auctions. So just because of the eyeball, there are a lot less eyeballs. So, that's those things you weigh. Maybe less fees, but I don't know. Jordan says, I would say realistic Instagram or Facebook for you both, save you on fees, amongst other things. You're following big enough to do it. But there's just so many less eyeballs. Like the fees, I don't worry about the fees because eBay gives me millions and millions and millions of potential customers. Facebook and Instagram, I have 2,000 followers on Instagram. That's nothing. And who of those 2,000 followers are going to buy cards? And, Facebook is more of a, I utilize Facebook more for, bulk on marketplace bulk. And I know there's Facebook groups where you can save on fees, but I'm just not organized enough to do that. And then if you're cross listing and then it's like, oh shit, I am tunnel vision. Like I've got to have, and maybe that's holding me back from all this. But I think it's, and that's actually what I was going to talk about today. And maybe we're 40 minutes in, so I'll save it for tomorrow. But I ran some auctions and I fucked up, man. My organ, and I'm learning how bad my previous organization was, and it only takes a couple sales, and you realize, man, what the fuck was I thinking? Because I sold some cards that were from 3 years ago, probably, because it predates my management system. And then I ran some auctions, and sometimes when I run auctions, I don't put the SKU, or I've got just a pile, and I've got like 3 or 4 auction items that I can't find that just ended. And it's like, I know I have thI have these cards, and I checked my eBay. They didn't sell. Where are they? So got to figure that out. JG says, what not if you sell a card for $1, you take home on average 56. So I'm guessing 56 cents. In my experience, buyer pays shipping. Max says 2 options for you. That's it. Pay attention to your stuff you already listed and call when needed. 2, eat the fee increase and keep pushing on eBay. There's no better platform. And I completely agree. Absolutely, completely agree. And number one, where Max says, and and before he typed this out, before I even stated my previous issue, I ran some auctions, and there's 3 or 4. And usually what that means, I'm going through, and 3 of them were to one customer, and they were all Allen and Ginter jersey relics. And I've got like a pile of my jersey relics, and it's like, they're not here. I'm like, oh, they must be in this pile, and they're not in that pile. And then I'm looking through all piles. And yesterday I spent way too much time trying to find shit, trying to find just a few cards. Because it completely on me, because I had listed those from the couch, and sometimes I forget to put the SKU number in and forget to SKU them. It's like, oh, I'll just put this in a pile and put this, these are in my auction pile. I'm looking through my auction box. I still haven't found them. So yeah, I need to, and it's not necessarily paying attention to my already listed stuff. It's, although collects is definitely pay attention to collects. But it's, paying attention when I list to make sure everything is going into its right place. And that's something that I struggle with at times, especially if I'm just listing from the couch. I'll forget, because it's not part of my normal routine listing. Eat the fee increase and keep pushing on eBay. 100% agree. eBay is the way to go. There is no better platform. I'm certainly not leaving eBay, and I don't want to pay less attention to eBay. There's no second fucking store. That's dumb. And yeah, so if once I do go over 60,000 listings, and whatever that balance, like 62,500, I think is when it starts. Okay, then you have to pay for the next level up if you want to keep listing. But I'm not chasing listing numbers anymore. I need to, once I get to that point, and I'm pretty close, but I'm kind of at that where I'm keeping above water, where as soon as I list a bunch of stuff, I sell a bunch of stuff. So I'm kind of keeping up. As I get closer, I need to monitor, instead of just going and listing more, like let's pay attention to what I have listed that's not selling, that hasn't sold in the last 5 years. Because if it hasn't sold in the last 5 years, is it ever going to sell? And yes, I sell stuff that's been listed for 5 years every once in a while. And usually I'm surprised, because I don't get up. And in a lot of my older inventory is over on the right side. So my shipping table is in the middle of 2-3 shipping shelves. And so to my left is all of my box 1 through box 29, plus a few other boxes. To my right is my old organization system, plus like heritage miners, singles, lots, stuff like that. I'm not getting up to going and going to that shelf very often, which tells me there's a lot of stale inventory. I need to find a way to bulk find it and just dump it It's going either in bulk boxes or quarter boxes. And I just need to find a way to do that without fucking shit up. With my box system, it's pretty easy. I can cull it down to, okay, SKU 2G. I've sold like 3 cards out of this in the last year. All right, let's just 2G, you're done. Basically delete everything from 2G, put it in a quarter box or a dime box or a bulk box. And then the next stack of cards I have, well, you're getting the 2G. So I can just use that over. So that's kind of in the works. And then eventually I'll go to an anchor store. But I want to get rid of shit inventory before I put more shit on, right? So certainly not going to add a second store. I'm not organized enough. I think in certain situations, it's okay to do a second eBay store. It's certainly not smart the way I run my business. Where are we at? Let's see. Jordan says, take a day, Max. Have a blast with the kids. Max says, there's a large rat on the screen. AA cards, good morning. Jordan says, JG, yeah, 56. It's so cold, I don't have to go to put my groceries away. See? That's a perk, man. That's a perk. Sold me on that cold weather. He's a slow reader, Malcolm Gladwell, of his own book. Yeah. And that probably had part to do with why. Card collector says, pulled a Shota Imanaga pink border rookie card. It's a sign he's going to the Yankees. We're signing everyone. Shota Imanaga is not signing with the Yankees. Shota Imanaga is a Cub. And he'll be a Cub for how long is his contract? He's only been with the Cubs for a year, so I think he's got a few more years. So maybe eventually he'll be a Yankee, but not anytime soon. Max wants to know, what is a book? Jordan laughs at Max. Jordan says, card collector, glad to see you alive and well. Unicorn Cupcake likes Gladwell's voice. It's interesting. It's not good for book reading. Like his podcast is okay. I've listened to his podcast every once in a while. It keeps you like listening, except in book form. I just stopped paying attention, but I'm also very ADD. So I'm sure that has something to do with it as well. I can bet it is slow. Jordan says, so is listening to a book reading a book? I've listened to many books, but say I read many books. Unicorn Cupcake says, I would not say I read it, but I was familiar with its content. Ooh, that's a good way to put it. Cooter, I putting that on a shirt. Dystemic says, what's up? Less than 12 hours till my flight, which is still on time. Very good. Very good. Heading to Arizona. Unicorn Cupcake says, I think you should spend less time listing and shipping and more time listening to Ernie's emotions and desires. That's what Dogtopia would tell me. What are you thinking, Ernie? Where'd you go? Oh, you're on that side. What the fuck, man? Can you see what he's got a piece of cotton on his beard. He destroyed the lamb. Let's see. Dat dude from Duryea. And see, this is another problem. Do you list a lot of duplicate cards? Yes. So I don't realize, like, I don't think it's a problem at the time, but now in hindsight, when I'm going back, yes. There was an example of something that I listed. What's up, buddy? Hi. Let's just, oh man, I'm trying to think of what it was. It was a football card. And I had like 3 copies of it, 3 different copies listed. Let's look up Aristides Aquino, because I'm sure there's a bunch of Aristides Aquino. Oh, we got to share the screen. So yeah, and I'm sure there's duplicates of Aristides Aquino. There we go. So like there's 2020 Diamond King certified tops. There you go. 2020 tops. There was a scan version. There's one that I took on my so this is how long this has been in my eBay store. I probably listed this in 2020. And nobody's buying Aristides Aquino. I have 47 Aristides Aquino. Nobody's even buying these out of quarter boxes, let alone paying $1.50 free shipping on eBay. There's another Bowman. So I can probably just, but here's the problem. Like you can say, we'll take, and for, oh, we're just going to delete this because it's the wrong. It's picture of Tim Tebow, but it says Aristides Aquino. I think that must have been one of my first Car Dealer Pro, where I think I screwed up I just want to delete the freaking card. End listing. How do I end? I can revise it. Anyway. So yeah, the problem with that is, I don't want to just delete all my Aristides Aquino. So there's 47 cards that get deleted, but they're all in all different boxes. And so I want to utilize that space. And, I can utilize Aristides Aquino. He's probably not going in a quarter box. He'll go in maybe I'll do like 100 count lot of Aristides Aquino for $10. I don't know. So yeah, that's something I should probably monitor a little closer. Found treasures. What's happening? Good morning. Max says you start listing elsewhere. You are now detracting more and more from your existing business. I agree. If you have something sitting for over a year or two, dump it and move on, or push over the threshold. There's math to the bump up, obviously, but you're not stupid. And that's kind of what I've been doing with the auctions, where but it's not like $1.50. Like if anything's like $10 or over, $20 or over, and it's been sitting with some exceptions. Like I'm not going to put my Mike Trout up on auction. I'll throw it at auction, and there's like lots. I'm not going to put lots on auction because that's just asking to give your cards away. But singles, if there's an old Heritage Miners autograph that's $15, like, okay, I know that's not a $15 card. Let's just put it at auction. If it sells for 99 cents, it's been sitting in my store for 3 years. Like 99 cents is better than letting it sit for another 3 years in my eBay store, because obviously nobody's interested in buying it. So that's kind of what I've been doing with my auctions. And today's Thursday, so next week is the 26th. I might do that with tonight as I'm sitting on the couch with Ernie, buddy. For tonight, just so I'm not going through and finding. I've got a pile of basketball, but I've got to scan them and list them. I just want to, maybe I'll do some stale inventory tonight that ends next Thursday. Max says, you don't end and sell similar? I don't. There's some problems you can run into with that. You have to be careful because if you have quantity listings, it will revert back to the original. So, hey, don't do that. So if you have like 2020 Topps Aristides Aquino, if you listed that with 10 copies and say you sold 2 right off the bat, you still have 8 left, or let's just say 5. You have 5 left. Bad example because he's not going to sell, but say he would sell. God damn it. Fred McGriff. Ernie, you're getting antsy. Chew your bone. If you started the listing off with 10 and you've sold 5 and you end sell similar, it will revert back to 10. So, and I have a lot of quantity listings, so I don't want to just do bulk, because then you've got to go through your page of 200 and look. So that's why I tend not to do end sell similar. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I don't do it because I don't want to, relist something that I don't have. The only instance I can think of for another store is accounting. Hey, get away from there. Where's your bone? Get away from the baseball cards. Go chew your bone. The only instance I can think of for another store is accounting. Some want to argue different items, SKUs, but Christian is here. Good morning. Jordan says, so with live selling, having 2,000 followers, you would be surprised. 15 to 20 people is really all you need consistently. Mark Twitchell, what's up? Macomb in the house. Your tardiness allows me to join live. Yeah, we are late today. Unicorn Cupcake says, I don't like Whatnot, but I think Bo would be able to collect quite an audience. And I've had a lot of people like come to my table at shows and they're like, man, this stuff would sell great on Whatnot. And that's kind of what got me thinking about it. I'm not completely dismissing it. I mean, a month ago, I'm like, I'm going to sell on Whatnot in 2025. Like I might do it. I'm pumping the brakes. I've really seen my eBay store grow in really the second half of 2024, and I really want to. I want to continue that momentum and continue focus on that. And I think the auction aspect has really allowed me to grow more than the buy it now. And when I look at my numbers, and something I have to constantly monitor is what I'm spending on insertion fees. So I'm just going to take this month for example. And we had more auctions end last night. I think I have some more auctions ending tonight, so I'll get a little of that money back. But because I'm paying now, I've ran, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 auctions this month. So I've had to pay whatever $119 is on insertion fees. So at 15 cents a pop, $119.40 is what I've spent on auction insertion fees. But then you look at what the credits have been, and I've been credited on fees. Now I don't like, and I wish I wish there was somebody you could talk to like, hey, but eBay's so huge, and I understand why they can't just have one or two people say, hey, do this. Can you do this? The transaction fee credits are not itemized. So when you send a refund, that is, you get fee credits back. So I've been credited on fees this month, $107.13. Now, a majority of that is auction insertion fees because auctions have sold. So I'm getting that 15 cents back. But I have had to send some refunds. So some of those transaction fees have been refunded as well. But I've been kind of just tracking. And since I don't know the exact number, I know it's a more than 50%, probably closer to 75, 80%. But the insertion fees, $119.40, is only 5% of my total auctions, or actually, no, that's percent of selling cost. That might be total. So $119.40. Let's see. It might be 15 or 5%. Let me see. Let me do the calculator real quick. What was it? $119.40. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is exactly. So it's 5% of what my auction sales have been. 5%, I'm good. Like 5% is a great number to be at for auctions that are selling and what I'm making on the auctions. Once anything under 10%, I'm comfortable with. Once it gets over because I'm not promoting my auctions, so I don't have an extra 10% promoted fee, or whatever the percent might be. Oh, fuck. He just pooped. God damn it. I knew he was getting antsy. He had poop. That's my fault, buddy. I know. That's Dad's fault. Where was I at? Ernie pooped. I had a feeling that was going to happen. So 5% I'm great with. Where are we at? Max says, I have an idea. Keep doing the Aquino thing, but make lots or pull and dump. Jordan says, unicorn, why not? That dude from Duryea says those are open spots in your store to keep under the 60K. Absolutely. And that's kind of how I'm viewing it. I just need to find a good way to do it in mass, in bulk, where I'm not spending a bunch of time pulling Aristides Aquino to get 47 spots open. Where if I had to pull those 47 cards, track them down, track down where each of them are, I mean, that could take a half an hour. To get all those down. And do I want to spend 30 minutes to open up 47 spots when I'm selling low-end inventory? Not really. That's why the SKU system is so great. It might just be a thing where, okay, anything that's not skewed, it's been on eBay long enough, and I'll just delist everything not skewed. I think that's probably what I'll do. And then if there's color, and I know there's color, it's probably overpriced or it's just stagnant. I'll go through. It's like, okay, here's autographs, color, and serial numbers. I'm going to relist these at $1.75 just to blow them out, or at auction. So I think those are, as I talk this out, this is awesome to have this dialogue, to give me ideas on how to do this efficiently. Matt says there's got to be plenty of guys you can make 10 to 20 card lots of. Oh, man. Oh, so many. Oh, so many. Johnny M says, good morning. I use different platforms for different inventory. Buy sports cards is basically my quarter box with a $3 minimum. Sport lots auctions often do better for me than eBay auctions. That's interesting. Unicorn Cupcake says, a guy at work used to watch streams, and I just don't trust the vendors. Oh, on Whatnot. There's a lot of vendors you can't trust on eBay. There's a lot of vendors you can't trust anywhere. So it's just, I don't blame the platform. You just got to choose the right. It's like with anything. There's shady sellers on Facebook. There's shady sellers on eBay. There's shady sellers at a flea market, at a card show. They're everywhere. Jordan says, please put Trout on auction. No. I'm not completely dismissing putting the Trout at auction, but it's probably that scares me. We'll see. Red light. Talk about late. Yeah. 9/11. Here we are. Christian says, bought my first item from an auction house. Bought a jersey from the estate of Lem Barney. Very cool. Lem is still alive, but not doing well. That's not good. Unicorn Cupcakes says, I'm also an old man geezer about obtaining my cards. Jordan says, I've seen some bad ones, but more good than bad. Max says, discipline him, otherwise he will never learn. Mark says, Ernie loves crime dog Fred McGriff. He used to watch clothing and modern card streams. Just seemed sketchy to me. Are people pumping bids? Johnny M says, I believe you only have to original quantity issue if you end relist, not if you do end sell similar. I've never had a problem with that. Okay. I know it's definitely one of them. There's an issue with one of them. Put the Fred McGriddle on mascot. Ernie is trying to help list cards. He's the operations manager over there. Unicorn, it can happen. Not that much. Focus. 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 I still shudder when I hear that word. Trash can platform. Unicorn says, if you sold cards at a massage parlor, the insertion fees would be much higher. Shit, it started snowing. We've already got a good layer of snow on the ground. It started snowing when it was not snowing at 4:30, but it was snowing at 7:30. So sometime between 4:30 and 7:30, we started getting snow here. Mike says, list on Veriswap, Mascot, MySlab, Slipmop, insertion fees, Arena Club, and talk about it on Festivus, Collectivus for the rest of us, and Mantle. Ernie, the project manager, is tired of your shit. Half an hour to pull 47 cards and work on your organization first. And that's the problem. These were listed before I was organized. And that's why the organization some are, most of them are the old organization that I had when I only had 1,000 listings was sorted by year. And then once I got, multiple cards, then it was by brand. Now it's just 28X. Now it's super easy. If I want to go in and let's just say, so in my new organization system, let's see if I can. So for those that are not familiar with how to do this in a bulk setting, we're gonna go to active listings. And I think you can do it by SKU. So say, I'm trying to think, I think oh man, no, because I screwed that up. I think I did multiple we'll just do 4L because I know that's some junk wax. Let's see, I can search by SKU. All right, where's my SKU? There's a way to do it. It even says, I wonder if I can do this. Box 4 tab L. Yeah, I know. I still got to share the screen. It's going to take a while. Oh, my total has gone down. I'm under 100,000. Okay, perfect. So, all right, I'm going to share the screen now. So you can go into your active listings, and if you just go find your SKU, so box 4 tab L, and I've got 45 items in this SKU. So I can go through And like, look, I've got a first Bowman paper Khalil Watson. It's $4. Like, that's just like all of these. I've got an Eric Lauer 2018 Bowman Chrome, a bunch of 81 Topps football commons that don't even have the pictures on. So I'm just going to 4L. I'm just going to take deleted 4L. Oh, shit. Prime Dog. Fred McGriff. 4L. I need that Post-it note just so I don't forget. What was that again? So I'm going to go through. So I just did box 4 tab L. I'm just going to delete everything. So I'm going to add 45 listings. So we're going to do edit. We're going to end listings. So look, I've got an Elijah Tatis, first Bowman paper. These are release day prices. Mark Appel when he made his comeback. So this is why they're not selling. I mean, they probably wouldn't sell for $1.50, let alone $3 and $4. So we're going to end the listings. And that opens up like 47. So there we go. We got 47 more listings today. And that's easy. But Aristides Aquino, they are not organized that way. So I've got to go to like 47 different SKUs, which I would anyway with the SKU system in place. If I'm doing it by player or okay. But by SKU, it's like, okay, 4L is 2 years old and they haven't sold. Oh, wow. That's because your Khalil Watson first Bowman paper's $4. No wonder. So there you go. You can always relist the stuff you're taking down pretty easy. And that's kind of like if it's autos and serial numbers, parallels, stuff like that, I'd probably relist it for cheaper or at auction. A guy I work with pooped his pants yesterday. Had to go home. Tell Ernie it's okay. This person was a human. Far worse. Hey, I've shit my pants before. Like it happens, man. It happens. Let's see. Mark says he got off work early. Yeah, there you go. There you go. He was working overtime, but yes, he got to go home for the day. There you go. Jordan says, that's a fun conversation, Unicorn. I crapped my pants yesterday. Max says, so you wait till 60K to reorganize your original organization. Holy shit, I want to get a tour of this place. I had a fun conversation with my daughter about it. Max says, I get 600 card orders and I'm done in under an hour, maybe even 45. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that efficiency. There is, I don't know how you could do 600 orders in 45 minutes. It takes me, I mean, it would take me 600 orders. And I'm, with the exception of like the old stock, the new stock, tab 4U, tab 4L, auctions are a little faster because they're moving. And I guess if it's auctions, I could see. Like I could probably do 600 orders in an hour. No, I couldn't. Even having everything in the same tab, I couldn't do that. I'd also like to know how. Max says, this is what I'm saying. Pay attention to old inventory. Johnny M says, ordered 5 cases of 1,000 Card Saver 4s today off Amazon at $21 a case delivered. I will be shipping all my orders in these. Max says, probably wouldn't sell in a dime box. Landfill wouldn't even take the Aquinos. No. I see so many Aquinos in quarter boxes. Sometimes in dollar. If I see an Aristides Aquino rookie in a dollar box, I just walk away. Like, okay, I know there's nothing in here for me. Johnny M says, I have listings so old they are $1.30 plus 56-cent shipping, taking them down in January and dumping them. That dude says, glad to see we all have the same issues and can hammer them out here. Lots of good ideas over the years. Oh, one order of 600 cards. Okay. Yeah, I could do that. Bo calling bullshit. Yeah. I was thinking 600 orders. I'm like, I'd like to see that in action. 600 cards, 45 minutes. Yeah, I think 45 minutes to an hour. I think that's fair. That's fair. If all 600 cards came from my current organization system, which again, and I'm saying I don't want you to think that my entire room is filled with just disorganization. There's probably 1, 2, 3, 4 row boxes that are not organized. Like I said, it was, 1,000 to 2,000 cards. Everything else is box 1, tab L, box 4, tab Z. So yeah, probably take an hour to do 600 cards around that. Let's see. Pulling the cards. There you go. Keely Zager, what's up? Show Ernie, please. Shane's daughter. Here, come here, buddy. You want to say hi? There he is. What's up, buddy? Yeah. Such a good boy. Such a good boy. Yeah. What's up, buddy? He's staying home. He's got a snow day today because it's snowing. And we're not going to go to doggy daycare. We'll go tomorrow, though. Yeah, we'll go tomorrow. Yes. Such a good boy. Aquino was. There was a time where Aquino was like smashing home runs. And he was the rookie to chase. Max says a team of 10 people couldn't complete 600 orders in an hour. Okay, so we're on the same page. Unicorn Cupcake says, no, he was a Gaylord hit. There you go. And now we know why he shits in the house. Good boy. See? There you go. But he's not going to remember. Like, if you punish him now, it doesn't do anything because he's like, I was just taking a nap. Like, you've got to do it. You've got to catch a dog in the act of shitting. And I didn't catch him in the act of shitting. I caught him after. I could smell it. And I'm like, oh, he just shit in the room. You do it now. And he's like, what the fuck did I do? I was taking a nap. Son of a bitch. GNC Baseball Card says, I thought you had smell vision and I could smell Ernie's shit, but I realized I just farted. Ernie's got some farts, man. I'll be on the couch and he like lays on the floor below me on the couch. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, did you poop? Did you shit in the house? And I'll look down and he's just like passed out and he farted and it smells. Did the shit smell like oatmeal? No, but now, hey, thank you. Now I've got to wait before I can have breakfast. All right. Well, I guess you don't have to go potty. We're going to take you out anyway. All right. So that's enough for today. I've got poop to clean up. Aquino was the Yasiel Puig of his day. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit my eBay store. We talked a lot about eBay, and I didn't flash this on the screen in an hour and 12 minutes. What the hell am I doing? Buy 7 or more cards at buy it now price at regular price, and you'll save 25% off at checkout. 99centcards.com. I've been saying over 100,000 cards, which that's probably still true because I have lots. So there is over 100,000 cards, but in quantity, it's only like 96,000. I think all of those those were lots. Those weren't quantity items. So anyway, still over 100,000 cards in my eBay store. Like, subscribe, 99centcards.com. Tomorrow is Friday. We're going to do a free-for-all Friday. We're going to play Name That Player. I'll be on time tomorrow, 7 a.m.-ish. Might be 7:15, but we'll be on at 7 a.m. Play Name That Player. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.